Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to do a demo and review of the Natasha Denona Tropical palette. I'd wanted this palette for a long time. This is limited edition as well. These palettes are pretty expensive. I believe they're like $130 and I ended up sweeping on this for $100. See, so this is a palette here. It has some brights and some neutrals. I think this is just a great palette. These are the types of colors I'm really interested in. I love blues and greens and pink and orange with some neutrals. So this is my color scheme here. Okay, so my MAC Prep and Prime Eye 24-hour base is on now. So I'm gonna start with this brush here, which I didn't think I would like any brushes like this, but I do. It's the Luxie 231 small taper brush. The color Nudist. And just take a little bit on my brush and go through the crease. Taking it up a little bit higher. Okay, then I'm gonna use just a Wet n Wild crease brush. I'm gonna go into a color called Peach Puff. Just to build a little more depth here. The MAC 217 brush in Zenna. Focusing most of that color in the middle here. I'm gonna do a darker shade on the outer edge. Okay, then I'm gonna move on with my MAC 221. I'm gonna go in the color called Lagoon, which is this really pretty bright blue out here on my outer crease. Okay, once I've built up that blue, I am going to take a smaller, more detailed brush. This is a Luxie 243 brush, precise blending into the darker blue, which is called Tiger Lily. This does have a little bit of a sheen, and normally I wouldn't use something with a sheen, but because I need to build up a little more depth here, I will use it. I'm not really liking how that is blending, so I'm going to take a Wet n Wild brush and go back into Tiger Lily so I can get a better blend. Once you're happy with that, go back in with that original purple shade, and then I like to add more purple right here and then have it go up and out. I'm gonna go back in with that Peach Puff right here, just in the front a little bit. So there's like this peach, this yellow, and this mint shade. I don't wanna go overboard with this shade, just enough. Okay, I'm happy with the sparkle and the way this looks. Okay guys, so most of my makeup's on. I'm gonna do my under eyes because, you know, you gotta go in a certain order. Taking Peach Puff just right under the eye on a synthetic brush. Okay, I'm gonna take Limoncello in my inner tear ducts. Give this look the pop that it needs. All right guys, so this is the completed look with the Natasha Denona Tropical palette. Again, just so you guys can see those shades right here. So my thoughts. Overall, the look's okay. I like it. It's fun. I went with something a little bit different. This is the second time I've used this palette since I got it. And I have to be honest with you guys, I'm not super like in love with it. It's kind of basic, I guess, which is crazy because I got it because I like the pops of color. Here at, you know, at the top row, that's basically why I purchased this palette. But what's frustrating about it is I feel like everything in here is pretty dupeable, or I have something in my collection close enough to that color that I can't see. To keep this in my collection when it's $100, I just don't really see the point. I mean, this retails at $130. Yes, I got it on a special at $100, but I just can't see keeping it. And what I mean by that is I have a very vast eyeshadow collection. I know not everyone has a very vast eyeshadow collection, so if you're someone who doesn't have a lot of eyeshadow and you're looking to invest in high quality eyeshadow, yes, definitely buy the Natasha Denona palette. I can't deny that the quality of the eyeshadows is outstanding. However, the color range wasn't very exciting for me, and that's why I won't be keeping it. So what I mean by that is Sugar Pill makes some excellent shadows. They've got single pans like this, or they've got palettes like this. So for instance, I'll just swatch the blue and the green here because I'm sure you guys want to see that. So I'll do the blue. The first color on the blue will be the Sugar Pill, and then I'll do the other two blues in the Natasha Denona palette, and I feel like it's passable, you know? So it's kind of the shade like right in between those two shades. So for me, it's not really worth it. And to be honest, this blue, when I used it, was real patchy, and so was the darker one. I've used this shade from the Sugar Pill palette and never had that issue. So for me, that was kind of a dud. They all do have some staining, at least when swatched on my eyes. Not too bad, but swatched, yeah, definitely. So let's do the green. Mind you, I've got tons of other greens. This is just sort of an example. So I have this green from Sugar Pill, which is right here, the Natasha Denona green, and then I have the Kat Von D green here on the end. So for me, they're pretty close. You're gonna get a very similar effect. I do like the green better than I like the blue. It did perform a little bit better, but it's just not like, if you could see in person the Kat Von D one and the Natasha Denona, they have the same undertone, like sheen. It's just one is a little bit brighter. But if I wet my brush, I'll get the same exact effect. So again, not identical, but all various shades of a lavender that would work. I don't use lavender very often just because you have to build it up a lot. And this one I did have to build up a lot. It's beautiful color, just nothing like crazy amazing or not dupeable for me. I have more shadows. I'm sure I can find an exact dupe, but those are just quick examples. So Natasha Denona mattes are absolutely stunning. I will not deny that her quality of her shadows are amazing. That's not my issue here. My issue is the colors just aren't that exciting. So I have like every Lime Crime palette there has ever been, and I feel like each one of these palettes has a couple of the colors that are in the Natasha Denona palette. So for instance, this is Bliss, which is the Lime Crime palette, and then this is Sangria. They're right next to each other. They're pretty close. You know, but even Vintage Taupe, I probably have something close. So this is the original palette, which has some of those peach shades as well, those warmer toned orange and browns. The extra large palette has pretty much the same types of shades. Hard to see here. There we go. The oranges, the pinks, the dusty mauves. It's a little more orange, but not much. Very similar. So I don't know. I just think there's nothing that exciting about the color scheme. I like how it looks in the layout. It looks very beautiful in the pan. And I like that about it, but it's just not doing anything for me specifically. Also, another palette for mattes that I think is killer. These are different shades of mattes, but you can create similar looks with it. This is the Warrior palette by Juvia's Place. They make some beautiful palettes that have some similar shades, or shades that I personally think perform better when it comes to bright shades. So if you're looking for bright colors, I say Juvia's Place or Sugar Pill for sure. If you're looking for more like wearable, great mattes, everyday colors, I would say Lime Crime, definitely. All their palettes are great. I'm actually gonna pass on this palette, which makes me really, really sad, but I just don't need it in my collection. I've got too many other things that are very similar. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please like this video, subscribe, comment down below. In the description box will always be my Instagram where you can follow me for daily posts, and my website if you'd like to hire me as a makeup artist, because you can. And I will catch you guys on the next one.